Hi, I'm Alex from Wilkinson Cameras. Today I'm going to be talking about the brand new Fujifilm GFX100 II. Olivia and I took it on a fashion photo shoot in Liverpool and our Liverpool studio. I'm just going to start by saying I absolutely love this camera, and so did Olivia. We cannot wait to show you the results that we got from it. Olivia's going to be hopping on later in the video to share her thoughts on the camera for video and for stills using it on location with natural light. The GFX100 II is the brand new flagship model in Fujifilm's GFX medium format camera lineup. It's a 102 megapixel sensor and it has massively improved autofocus, image stabilization, video functions, handling, image quality. Pretty much every element of the camera has been improved, and I think we're going to see even more tweaks with future firmware updates as well. The GFX series is a medium format sensor series, which Fujifilm confusingly refer to as large format. It's not quite as large as a Hasselblad sensor, but it is 1.7 times the size of a full frame sensor. Traditionally, the GFX series has been used in studios or for landscapes with the camera mounted on a tripod, but now Fujifilm want to change that. They made the new model faster for stills, better AF, bigger and better buffer, massively improved AF system, a bigger and brighter EVF, and more frames per second continuous shooting. So a lot of changes, but certainly for the better. Let's talk about the most exciting part of the GFX100 II, the sensor. The Fujifilm GFX100 II comes equipped with a 102 megapixel CMOS2 HS sensor, delivering exceptional image quality, sharpness and dynamic range. I cannot express just how impressed I am with the image quality from this camera. It is just amazing. With this impressive sensor, you can capture every detail, whether you're shooting landscapes, portraits, or even commercial projects. In our case, we're doing portraits. The detail in the images is just insane, especially in the studio. The new sensor also improves the readout speeds. In fact, it's about 2 times faster than the GFX100S. The sensor combined with the X Processor 5 means that this camera is capable of achieving high continuous frame rates of up to 8 frames per second, which is a massive improvement from its predecessors, and it's remarkably impressive for a medium format camera. Also improved with the new processor is the accurate AF abilities and the advanced video features, which Olivia is going to touch on more later. The autofocus on the GFX100 II uses 425-point phase detection AF and is a massive step up from previous models. It now features subject detection autofocus, which has never been seen on a medium format camera until now. So what you're getting is basically the same subject detection as the Fujifilm X series of cameras, which means as well as eye detection and faces on humans, you can also detect animals, birds, planes and vehicles. The AF during our shoot was really impressive, and it clung to Ella's eyes for the entirety of the shoot and would lock straight back on even if she turned around or exited and then re-entered the frame. Olivia extensively uses AF in video for the type of work that we do, and she was very impressed when tracking Ella in video on the car park footage that you'll see in the video. One of my favourite features was the touch tracking feature. Tap the face, the camera detects the model's face and off it goes, just keeps tracking her. Knowing the camera is focusing, for me, I can now focus on composing and achieving the perfect shot. A quick side note, if you want to take pictures of insects, then set the subject detection to birds, and if you want to detect drones, then select airplanes as it is on there, not aeroplanes. These new advances in autofocus mean that this camera is more than just a studio camera or a landscape camera. Fujifilm are pushing this camera to its limits to be used in all environments. This, combined with the new 8-stop IBIS and the fact that it's much smaller than the original GFX100, also means that you're not having to rely on a tripod. The GFX100 II might just be the most versatile medium format camera out there at the moment. On top of the already impressive resolution and features that we've covered so far, the GFX100 II offers a wide ISO range, 100 to 12,800, which is actually expandable down to 80. This allows you to capture stunning images in any lighting condition, whether you're shooting in low light situations or in bright sunny landscapes. In studios, the camera handles it all effortlessly. Photographers can achieve 16-bit images with far wider dynamic range and lower noise. Of course, we've not really tested that with what we've been doing today, as we have been doing it very much studio and a lot of natural light. The GFX100 II features pixel shift multi-shots to produce ultra-high resolution 400 megapixel images with a single press of a button. However, pixel shift mode can also be used to create incredibly colour accurate 102 megapixel images, which will be of interest to anybody looking to archive or do archival work or reproducing artwork, where that colour accuracy is very, very essential. That's what that mode is really going to be useful for on this camera. Of course, Fujifilm cameras would not be Fujifilm cameras without including their incredible and very renowned colour science and film simulations. The colours in all of our images were just drop dead gorgeous, straight out of camera JPEGs, which was set to the standard Pro Viewfind sim, were really, really nice. But there's also a brand new simulation called Reala Ace Film Sim, which is just gorgeous. It creates a very cinematic look to your images and video, and we'll show you some examples of that today as well. Moving on to the ergonomics, the GFX100 II, although very large compared to full frame cameras, the full frame mirrorless cameras we're used to, and especially compared to the Fujifilm X series, it's very well thought out of in terms of handling. It's got a deep, comfortable grip. I had no issues using this camera all day handheld with the new f/55mm lens. There's a two-way tilting touchscreen on the back, which made low angle shots easy, whether shooting landscape or portrait. I found the screen to be bright and easy to review the image quality. The top screen is massive. It covers so much information. You can also change what this displays. So some people might like to have a histogram here, for example, but you can customize that to some extent. There's also plenty of buttons and most of them are customizable. So I changed the top 3 to suit my needs for the day, and there's lots and lots that you can customize on there. But onto the best thing about this camera, or certainly one of the very best, the high resolution electronic viewfinder. Oh, it's just so good. It's big, it's bright, it's natural looking. It allows you to compose just so easily. But what Olivia and I both love is the fact that it comes off, and there's a tilt and swivel adapter available as well. So firstly, the ability to remove the viewfinder. The EVF on this is massive. It's absolutely huge. Removing it meant that I could actually fit it in my bag more easily, but it also meant that we were able to mount it quite easily on a gimbal, because you're effectively removing about an inch off the top. Now the tilt adapter is probably just my favourite thing about this, and I wish it was shipped in the box. I wish it wasn't a separate add-on. We didn't have this with us for the test on this occasion, but we have had previous experience with it when we were first finding out all about the GFX100 II. It is so good. It's just a filmmaker's dream. It allows you to have a more comfortable filming position when you're not glued right behind the camera screen or the viewfinder. It allows photographers to just make the most of the EVF, even in awkward positions. You can look down on it, you can tilt it off to one side. I can't tell you just how much I love that. If you buy this camera, you have to get this adapter. It is around £550 at launch, but this is, I know it's not a small amount of money, but it's a drop in the ocean when you consider how much you're investing into this camera body and the lenses that you're going to use with it, and it's going to make your life easier. New to the GFX100 II is the Ethernet port. Shoot and share straight to your editor, to FTP, to frame.io, wherever you need your files to go. It's, you know, simple because of that. It's also got HDMI out, full HDMI out, headphones and mic jacks, and of course a nice touch here is the fact that the headphone jack is actually on the opposite side to the other inputs. It means you've not got all your cables in one big mess. It means you can quickly and easily unplug headphones without disturbing your audio or anything else. Not forgetting the premium build quality with a magnesium alloy body and weather sealing. Remember what I said about being able to take this out of the studio? Well, you can do that even if the weather is against you, which it usually is. And finally, it takes a CF Express Type B and an SD card. I would actually like to have seen 2 CF Express Type B slots here, especially given the professional nature of this camera and the sheer size of it. I feel like they could have fit that in there. It takes the Fujifilm NP-W325 battery, which is the same as is found in the Fujifilm XH and XT camera models. You are going to want to take some spare batteries with you. While this is a good battery and it's more efficient than older models, this camera packs a lot of technology, and I found, especially when shooting video, that we were eating through batteries pretty quickly. But there is a vertical grip available, which allows you to stick an extra 2 batteries in there. They're the same batteries, so that's going to increase your battery life quite dramatically. So if you are doing long days or long high frame rate filming, or depending on what filming codec you're using, you might want to consider this. Something that I enjoy about the grip is that you can also charge all 3 batteries at the same time, which just makes life that much easier. The grip also monitors controls for function buttons, so portrait shooting is going to be super easy with this as well. I'm just going to very briefly touch on the new GF55 f1.7 RWL lens. We've shot exclusively with this in our testing for this shoot. In full frame terms, it delivers approximately 44mm equivalent focal length, which is a nice all-round lens, and it's certainly one that I'd consider as my go-to for this camera. It's super sharp, it's fast to focus, it delivers beautiful bokeh and renders gorgeous colours, and that nice fast aperture is going to be great for low light as well. So I'm going to pass you over to Olivia, who's going to cover the video specifications in a lot more detail, and also a few more features as well.
Hi, I'm Olivia from Wilkinson Cameras, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about the video specifications and my opinion on the stills and video capabilities of this camera. First of all, blown away is all I can say about this camera, but we'll start with the IBIS. The GFX100 II breaks new ground by incorporating in-body image stabilization of 8 stops. Yes, you heard that right. This means that every single shot you will take will be incredibly steady, allowing you to explore new creative possibilities and achieve that brilliant, tack-sharp image quality. No more blurry photos or shaky videos for that matter. It's an absolute game changer, especially for those working in challenging environments. Whilst I was filming Ella on location, I hardly used the gimbal at all, for that matter, and found the stabilization to be extremely impressive, even just viewing from the LCD screen on the back of the camera. What impressed me the most was when I reviewed the footage back on my computer and realised that it's probably some of the best footage that I've taken in a very long time. Mega impressed with the stabilisation, and I think Fujifilm has most definitely smashed it out of the park with this sector. A brief overview of the image quality and stills capabilities, because I know Alex has already covered a lot of this, but again, the images I shot in the car park were just breathtaking. The quality and detail in the portraits of Ella was so impressive, even down to 300 times zoom. A big thing for me, and something that I love about Fujifilm cameras, is the colour. More so in this camera, the colour in the skin tones are just gorgeous, and the dynamic range is very, very good. Any blown out highlights were very easily saved, same with the shadows. No issues from me with dynamic range. All of the car park shots were shot in natural light, and these were taken at golden hour where the light was just sublime. So taking advantage of this was just a given, but the GFX100 II just soaked up all the detail in the dynamic range, so the editing process was just a dream. Time for my favourite part. Prepare to be blown away. The GFX100 II enables you to shoot stunning 4K videos at 60 frames per second and 8K at 30 frames per second, 42 10-bit in-camera recording, with phenomenal dynamic range, as I've just mentioned, and beautiful cinematic colours. There's also full HD 120 frames per second for those that like slow motion. It's basically like having a professional cinema camera in the palm of your hands. The incredible video capabilities combined with Fujifilm's renowned film simulations truly make this camera a filmmaker's dream come true. With a compatible Atmos, you can now record 8K 30 frames per second in 12-bit Apple ProRes RAW for anyone that needs that codec. With Blackmagic designed Video Assist 12G HDRs, raw video output from the camera can now be recorded as Blackmagic RAW, also at 8K 30 frames per second. But please do check Atmos or Blackmagic for compatibility and firmware updates before trying these. You can also record to an external SSD and can get 4K 60 frames per second and 8K 30. Talking filmmaking, the GFX100 Mark II supports various cine recording formats like GF format, Premista 35mm and anamorphic 35mm. With a GF2 PL adapter, you can take full advantage of the cinema optics, including Fujifilm's collection of Premista and Cabrio zoom lenses. AF in video is just as impressive as it is in stills. I solely relied on AFC tracking. Why? Well, on location there's a lot of things I need to be wary of as a videographer, like composition, framing, directing the model, and most importantly, the safety of the kit and ourselves. So knowing the camera's AF can track the model by just tapping on her on the LCD screen is just a game changer for creators like myself. More so when the camera is actually mounted on a gimbal and you have limited access to adjust focus or access your LCD screen through various angles whilst using a gimbal. A big thing, a very important thing for this medium format camera is the high speed rolling shutter. With the increased readout speeds, the camera suppresses rolling shutter for true to life results. The readout speed is just 15 milliseconds, which is just incredibly quick. The Mark II is the very first camera to feature F-Log2, which is a colour profile that gives you a wider dynamic range of 14 plus stops, maximising detail in shadows, highlights and midtones. During this location, the lighting was gorgeous, as mentioned before, but where we were, it became very contrasty. There was beams of light seeping through the pillars of the car park, creating a strong contrast between the shadows and the highlights. As you can see here, the F-Log2 footage saved a lot of the detail in the shadows, because I had to prioritise exposing Ella correctly, otherwise she would be crazy blown out in exposure. The F-Log2 has allowed the camera to collect the detail and data in the shadows as well as the highlights. So in post I could correctly expose and manipulate the two. I actually love the strong contrast between the two, so I actually deepened the shadows to make Ella stand out even more. But that's just a personal preference. I love F-Log2 and that's all I'll say on that one. An interesting feature is the Frame.io camera to cloud feature. I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of this until a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's just brilliant. It allows you to open lines of collaboration through a cloud to deliver images or videos straight after they've been created. This can be done through built-in Wi-Fi or the Ethernet LAN connection, which can be selected through the Frame.io setting in camera. You can send high-res RAW or JPEG files, as well as H.264 video proxies and 4K ProRes video securely to any project to immediately review or consider for future projects. Talking about connectivity, the GFX100 Mark II provides seamless connectivity options, including built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, enabling you to instantly transfer your images to your smartphone or tablet. This feature is a game changer for the on-the-go sharing and editing, allowing you to stay connected and share your breathtaking photos with the world. So, whether you're a professional photographer, a filmmaker or an enthusiast looking to take your craft to the next level, the Fujifilm GFX100 Mark II is an absolute game changer. I feel like I've said that loads, but we'll go with it, because it is. Its incredible image quality, groundbreaking features and versatility make it a must-have tool in any creator's workflow. Don't just take my word for it, get your hands on it if you can and experience it for yourself. Like you've probably gathered from what I've been saying throughout this video, I absolutely love this camera. Shame I can't afford it because it's absolutely beautiful. The quality in the photos and the videos that I took of Ella on location and what Alex did in the studio is just incredible. And yeah, it's just a beautiful camera and a beautiful setup. So I'll pass you back on to Alex where she'll share some more of her opinion and some price points.
So let's talk price points. The GFX100 II launches at $6,999 as a body only. When you consider that the original model started life at more like £10,000, and given the features this has to offer, I think this is fair. It is a professional tool for a professional job. Whilst I'm sure there will be hobbyists out there who lust after or buy this camera, it is a pro tool with pro features and this comes at a pro price point. But let's just look at those video features and compare the features to some of the higher end video cameras as well. This is an exceptional hybrid medium format camera, and I think the price point for what you're getting is more than reasonable. And that is the new GFX100 Mark II. I know I fall in love with almost every camera I test, but honestly, I don't think one is going to come close to this for a very long time. The handling, the image quality, the specifications this has to offer, I really think this is going to be a remarkable camera for Fujifilm, and I think we might see a lot of professionals, especially in fashion, architecture and commercial work, considering a switch from full frame to medium format as a result. What do you think? If you've enjoyed the video, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, drop some comments below and we'll get back to you. And we'll be back as soon as possible with another video for you. Thank you so much for watching.